Hello and welcome back to the Basketball Soapbox. I am your host, Daniel Daly. As we continue our questions for each team in the NBA, we're moving into the Southeast Division, heading down south to Atlanta. If you want to see the teams that I've talked about for the Atlantic and Central Division, from the Celtics to the Bucks, check those videos out on the channel. They will be there. But we're in Atlanta right now, and looking at the changeover from the Atlanta Hawks, they did move on from DeJounte Murray, trading him to the New Orleans Pelicans. They have some intriguing players like Dyson Daniels, Jalen Johnson, DeAndre Hunter, who they're waiting for take the next step. But let's talk about the main guy that's still there, the head honcho there for Atlanta, is this Trae Young's last season with the Atlanta Hawks. Now, I know looking at this roster, it looks like, and especially with everything that's being said, it looks like they're trying to build around Trae Young and looking at who can be next to him as those guys, Dyson Daniels, Jalen Johnson, DeAndre Hunter. They still have Bojan Bogdanovic on the team, Clint Capella, Larry Nance. So this team has been up and down ever since that Eastern Conference Finals run that they had a couple years back in 2021. Trae Young has been a controversial figure to that, right? In terms of just messed that up there. Sorry about that intervention there. But yeah, just ever since that run to the Eastern Conference Finals, he's been a controversial figure, saying, does his play style work? Can you win with him? He's up and down. This guy's averaging 28, 29, 30 points a game and 10 assists. And mainly people are saying that he's a ball hog and stuff like that, and he doesn't play defense and stuff like that. And it's just like there's plenty of guys in the NBA that have success with that. Now, in the NBA is different, and I don't think he has the team around him in order to do that. I thought this team was talented and had some pieces around him that could work, but it has just been weird. They had Lloyd Pierce, they had Nate McMillan. Now they have Quinn Snyder, who is trying to figure out a way to make this work, right, with the Trae Young and stuff like that. And it's just like, if it doesn't work this year, the Atlanta Hawks have picks. They have young guys that they can move on from. They have that they can move on with. They have Zacchaeus Rickshire that they just drafted #1, who shocked everybody at the draft, but it looks like he can be a promising player for them, and it looked like they're putting their investment in him, obviously drafting him #1. But looking at the standpoint of that, it's just like, is Trae Young going to be sitting here for the next, 2-3 years in a rebuild with 3 years left on his contract to see if they can turn it around? And it's like, I don't know. And it seems like he can be on the move at some point. People have been rumbling, saying LA, maybe even Miami. Some of the places people are saying maybe Brooklyn has a big open spot there with some cash and stuff like that and picks. Okay, well, no, don't say that, Daniel. But looking around the league, it's just like, to me, the obvious choice would be San Antonio. Next year, if he was going to be traded, right? You have Victor Wembanyama already there. You need somebody who's a primetime scorer. You have Popovich, who can really coach up Trae Young, in my opinion. I know they had Geronte Murray. Maybe they moved on from that, but whatever the case may be. But if you want another primetime scorer next to Wemby or whatever to develop that, that can be an option. But just looking at Trae Young, if he was to stay in Atlanta, there is a youth movement there. He is the control of that franchise. He is the franchise player. It's just the development of those young guys in the roster and how long can Trae Young, is this a new version of Trae Young that's going to lead and develop and push guys to be their best in practice and stuff like that on the outside? Because we never really got those stories out of hearing from Trae Young or anything like that. The DeJounte Murray backcourt didn't work, which I was surprised about. I thought they would have paired off each other really well. It just didn't seem to click. And it seems like it may be running out of time, and maybe this is just a way to reboot the situation and Trae Young in a better space and maybe a little bit more of fluid offense. Maybe pick it up on the defensive end, but those are all question marks there. And it's just like, it's running out of time. Is it going to work? And it would be smart for Atlanta to trade Trae Young while he has years left on his contract. He has 3 years left on his contract. He signed the Supermax a couple years ago. So it's just like, how much time does Trae Young have? How much time does Atlanta have? And they got to figure it out quick and soon if this is going to be the right landing spot for Trae Young long term.